You probably don't want to be using the focus pseudo class anymore. Now, don't get me wrong, you definitely want to have focus states in your CSS, but the problem is the focus pseudo class gets, well, focus states wrong, which is one of the reasons that we end up with one of the worst lines a CSS developer can write that is just way too prevalent out on the web because it makes keyboard navigation basically impossible. Now, the reason people often take it off is because when they have a button and they click on it, they don't want that ring to be there because I'm not really focused on that anymore. I want to go into here and interact with this stuff right here. But to be able to get it to go away, I have to click outside of it. It's kind of weird. Now, if I'm keyboard navigating, it actually makes sense because I can tab on and open and close it. And then when I go into the menu, I'm getting the new focus states that are inside of there. But check this out. If I take off my focus styling on there, I'm not actually going to get a focus state on the button, even though browsers come with focus states on things by default. And just to prove to you it's still there, I'm going to tab over to it and you can see the default focus ring is now showing up on there. So why is the browser not getting that focus state on it with a click, whereas mine is? And it's because all modern web browsers have switched over to using the focus visible pseudo class instead. So if we turn my focus back on, but I change this over to a focus visible, now when I click on it, my golden rod isn't showing up on there with that outline, but if I tab onto it, it is showing up and I can still keyboard navigate. And when your boss goes on the website with their mouse or on a touch device, they're not going to be getting annoying focus rings that they're going to be telling you to remove. Now, it also depends on what type of element it is. For example, if you have a form or something else like that, whether you're using a regular focus or if you switch this over to focus visible, it's still going to keep the focus ring when you're interacting with it with a mouse or a touch device, because the browser is looking at two things when it's deciding whether or not to show the focus state. How is the user interacting with the element, but also what type of element is it? And in the case of form elements, the browser will always show the focus ring because it makes sense for it to be there. It just helps the user keep track as they're going through a form or using inputs for different things.